There we go. Am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Nietzsche or Nisi from Australia? You know, guys, you don't have to wait for everybody else to show up. You can just throw in your questions and we can start our conversation. Usually it's like this. We are a little slow to start. The questions come very rarely at the first 15 minutes, and then suddenly you guys bombard me with all kinds of things. Nikki. I see. Nicci. Nikki. Interesting spelling. Nice to have you here. So as you know, we are talking about matters to do with thoughts, consciousness, ego, fear, and desire. Anything to do with your breakups, heartbreaks, relationships, that we could use the understanding and the knowledge about our psyche, how thoughts and consciousness, fear, desire, and ego are interrelated, how they affect each other, how they work together, and what role they play in how we feel about things that are happening in our daily life, about our heartbreak, about our relationships, about the issues that we negotiate on day-to-day basis. So we use the understanding in this forum, in this landscape of relationships and so on, so we can understand how this works. This is what I have chosen to be the forum for us to understand how our psyche works. And I hope that you guys will focus on the role of the psyche in how you feel, act, and react in your life. And this is what we are here to do. Now, I do receive a lot more emails than before, like a few years ago. Perhaps maybe in tens, if not hundreds, every day or every other day. Through the week, I get hundreds of emails. And I love to respond to everyone, either in the shape of comments or emails that they come. Sometimes the questions come through the Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, which has its own live talks on Saturdays, or it comes through any other medium that I have, such as the consulting page on the site that I have, mindthatseekstruth.com, where you buy the books and the consultation bookings and all the other things that you go in there. So I receive lots of questions through these different channels, and I love to answer all of them, but I'm sure you agree that it's very challenging to be able to get to all of them. So what I've done is I want to ask you something that to help me to give priority to the ones that have been more supportive and thoughtful about how they can learn this knowledge, rather than just sending their questions and not really working on learning how this works. And for that, as you know, I've over 500 so on videos on YouTube to help you to understand all these emotions, feelings, and role of the psyche, plus the books that I've written, which are now sold in the form of paper version and the ebook version on my own site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and also here in Canada on one of the bookstores, most famous bookstores here, Indigo, in West Vancouver. And of course I have a signing date at the end of this month for people who would like to chit-chat locally, and then we can talk about issues there and sign the books and stuff like that. So I've done all these things for you guys to learn what it is that it will be accompanying you all through your life, different challenges, different questions. But by knowing how the psyche works, you will be self-reliant. And this is my whole purpose. And this is exactly why I created the ebooks because the paper versions were very expensive. They're heavy. These books are quite bulky for shipping. For example, this one, you can see it's what? This one is about 360 pages. Yeah, Me, My Psyche, and I, which I highly recommend this book. Got lots of good stuff in it. Then there's another one. So this book is $80. So it's not cheap because it's got lots of shipping charge. By the time I ship it, there's really no recovering. There's like, God knows how much for the shipping. Now this one is Transient Thoughts and Me. These are the thoughts that come to your mind and you are not responsible for them. It just appears and you wonder, what is it doing here? What does it have to do with me? What do I do with it? What does it mean? Does it define me? Does it tell me something about me? Am I responsible for? Am I this thought that comes in? Why is it there? So we've discussed this. This is a smaller book, about 200 pages, but still has a hefty price on it, $80. And again, this one, the biggest one, is over 600 pages, I believe. The Breakup Book Handbook. So all these are bulky. And I knew everybody told me that we really love to have the books, but they're so expensive. And I understand that. So I spent quite a money, turned them all into ebooks. Now the ebooks I put on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, were about $35 or $26, but still, to some currencies versus US dollar, it was expensive. And I was hearing this through your emails, that everybody wanted to have it, but still is expensive. So what I have done, I've used the excuse of anniversary, and I've reduced the books, the ebooks, not the paper versions, the ebooks so drastically that nobody can give me any excuses anymore. Now the books are equal to the price of a cup of coffee, or a couple of cups of coffee. So the big one is $6.99. Me, My Psyche, and I is $5.99, and Transient Thoughts and Me is $4.99. So as you can see, I've done my part to listen to you and bring this in a form of a cooperation for us, because my real intention is for you guys to learn this knowledge, the knowledge that I have researched for years and also learned in big part indebted to masters of 100 years ago who started teaching this until they left us. And through all that research, I've brought this to life in a different way of delivery, plus all the other things that I could enhance, add, or modify for presentations to be digested easily and for your daily use. Now, I've done my part, and I have also then brought the books to life. The ones who want to get it in paper version, they still can, and I sign it and send it. The ones who are interested, but they thought it's expensive, they have no excuse anymore. It's not dirt cheap. You know, $4 or $5 is just really nothing. So I want you guys own one, every one of you. And I want to use this to encourage you, not just to purchase it and, you know, of course, you know, support the channel, the YouTube and all that. As you know, I don't have any advertisement on the YouTube. So I want you to understand the intention here is for you to be able to get a copy of these things. So that's why the prices are so drastically down. But because I receive hundreds of emails and I can't really know which one to answer and which one not to answer, because I can't answer them all, otherwise I'll be sitting here, get a carpal tunnel syndrome by typing all this all day and won't be able to do anything else. So from now on, when you guys or anybody sends me a question, instead of booking a consultation appointment, which I have through Skype all around the world, and I do that every day, and if that's expensive for you and you can't afford the 15 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour, and you still want answer to your questions, and you send me an email in regards to your situation, well, again, because of so many emails, I can only do so few of them. So every time I receive an email, I'm going to send you back a question randomly chosen from one of the pages of one of the books. In other words, I'm going to ask you, which book have you purchased? If you tell me the book, then I choose randomly one of the pages and one paragraph and one word in it, like line 10, first word of the paragraph, or whatever it is. And if you answer it correctly, that means you purchased the book. Then I say, okay, this person has priority over the ones that haven't purchased the book, because that makes it easy for me to know who's really paying attention and who's really eager to learn this stuff, or who just wants to ask and somebody else like me answer it, and it's going to go on all their lives. So it works both ways. It helps the channel, and it also makes me understand and sure that you guys are actually doing something and learning this stuff, rather than just always asking the question, which is fine. But I want you guys to become your own master. I want you guys to become your own knowledgeable person who knows how your psyche is put together, how it works, how it's functioned, to have the help that you need all through your life, no matter what happens. Not to have to run and ask some counselor or whatever it is that you may find. I think that's fair. So from now on, any email comes to me, I'm going to ask you which book you have, and when you say it, I'll ask a random question from the book, and when you answer it, then I will proceed to respond to your email. I think that's fair enough, and I hope you agree it's fair enough. Now, having said all that, let's see what question we have here. Daniel says, good morning, good sir. I haven't been here for a while. Okay, then we just mark you down for for reading all the books in one day. All right, so having said all that, and I think it's fair, and I hope that you guys will send me a comment back right now and tell me if it's fair or not, and that would be great. Bolka asks, hi, nice to see you again. Do you have any audiobooks? Unfortunately, Bolka, I haven't done any audiobooks, because audiobooks, either I have to do it with my own voice to know what I'm talking about, or it's going to be robotic, like some other audiobooks that the system just reads with no emotions, or have some reader, some active reader do it. That will be costly, and until we have enough finances accumulated from the book sales or ebook sales and all that, we would have to postpone it for a while. I'm sure you agree on that. Daniel says, sounds fair. Great. I'm glad to hear that, because as you know, the ebooks really don't have that much of a financial objective anymore, because if it's $4 or $5 or $6, by the time PayPal gets their cut and marketing companies and other costs, there's really no financial benefits or objectives here to be met. But my purpose is to make it cheap enough for everyone who is interested to be able to simply get one without any hesitation or without any excuses, because the money would not be an issue anymore, because that's the cost of, I don't know, a couple of cups of coffee that one day you can just drink one cup less, and in 2 days it's all paid off. But then the book will stay with you as long as you want for your reference, and so on. And soon, hopefully, maybe in about a year or two, I hope to come up with the Me, My Psyche and I Volume 2, which in that case, that would be something that you would want to have both of them, which again, I make that one also just as nominal fee as this one's possible. Nikki says, I would love audio also. Yeah, Nikki, I will try, but not for now, until we have enough finances accumulated from the sale of these ebooks. Well, you agree that I can't dedicate more resources as all my time, and you know, thousands of emails have always responded to them without any expectations of remuneration. I always try to help people. That's why I keep doing what I do, but I do expect people to take advantage of this learning opportunity, and that's why the prices are low. And in that way, you will get to learn, and also the channel, the YouTube channel, will be, or the site will be supported, and will have enough finances to do more things from its own actions, not from me bringing my money from some other businesses that I have to spend it on this. We just want it to be self-sufficient. So the ones who really appreciate this opportunity, this connection, and this presence of support, then I'm sure you know what to do for your own good and also the channel's good. Now, Daniel says, what book do you recommend for getting over a breakup? Would it be the Breakup Handbook? Of course, the Breakup Pain Handbook is very elaborately discussed. So many different situations. That book, which would be a handy reference for you, you can open it up, whichever chapter pertains to your case. When you look at the table of contents, that'll be fast and easy. Otherwise, you'll have to go to YouTube and list and see how many videos are there, and then choose the topics and then listen to that. That is one thing. But the combination of the two probably is going to be something very helpful to you. But if it's not just to do with relationships and breakups, I would highly recommend Me, My Psyche, and I. This book has lots of information that you would want to know about how your psyche works. And if you look at the table of contents, you can go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and go on the book section, click on the books, and then when you click on every book has its own little video that tells you what the book is all about. But if you actually click on the cover of the book opens up and shows you table of contents, what topics are there, and gives you one sample chapter to read for free, of course, and you can see what the book entails. But by looking at table of contents, you will see that there's lots of information that could be very interesting for you to know, and also for you to figure out how your psyche works. It has topics such as fear, anxieties, such as desire, ego, thoughts, consciousness. Where do they come from? How are they formed? How are they interrelated? Then we get lots of other topics such as meditation. What is it good for? How is it done? Elaborate discussion on how exactly you can do a meditation. He explains everything to you, and many other little things here. How to endure, what is a calm mind, how to stop time, and that's a cute thing. I really enjoyed discussing that. And I had a seminar done in the local university last year which was very unique in my opinion. I don't think anybody had ever attempted to do that or put these things in that way that I did. We discussed the end of fear, and we discussed how fear and thoughts and time are related. And this was a quite interesting topic. It was a 1 hour discussion that I was invited by one of the groups in the university, and the DVD of it is available on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and you can watch 12 minutes of it for free, or if you want the whole thing, it's like about $8.50 or something like that. You can download it. These are so many good stuff in these books that you can benefit from, and Me, My Psyche, and I is one of my favorites very much. This other one is very thin, but don't judge a book with its thickness. It's got lots of good stuff that many people in their youth, in their school, high school, or in their workplace, through their life, much older than being a teenager, something that we all deal with. It's about thoughts that appear in your head, thoughts about all kinds of subjects that are unwanted to you, that you don't care for it. you don't identify it. But it brings a question to your mind. Why am I having these thoughts? What is it? Where does it come from? What do I do with it? Does it define me? What does it mean to me? How can I manage it? How can I understand what it is? What to do about it? These subjects are subjects on everyone's mind. And people haven't figured this out yet. It's written very simply, like a, I don't know, 5-year-old talks. That's how I talk. Very informal, very easy, but enough explanation in a special way of delivery that makes sense and you can understand it, and it can get all that nonsense that comes to your mind that you think of it as irrelevant out of your head, and understand, makes you understand why it is there, how it got there, what does it mean to me, and if it has anything to do with me or defining me, and so on and so forth. Clears your head, makes you understand how the brain works, and makes you free from whatever it is that may be bothering you in your head. So, having said all that, now let's see what do we have in here. Daniel says, so you say get all three, ha ha ha. Well, I have to tell you, since I've reduced the prices, almost everybody that I can see the list of the purchasers come, it shows they bought all three, because all three of them together is $15. I mean, $15 is not even price of one book in bookstores that you go, but all three of them. But you don't have to buy all three of them. I suggest, if you would like to know about transient thoughts that flows through your head and makes you wonder, then you can buy that. And of course, Me, My Psyche, and I is very important to have. It sheds lots of light on lots of issues, and little chapters, 2-page chapters, 10-page chapters, all kinds of different discussions there. And the Breakup Pain Handbook, of course, is specifically for a certain purpose. So it depends on what your needs are at the moment. And if you can, yes, you can buy all three of them and have them as a reference, or you just buy the one that you feel is most needed at the time. Nikki says more simple is great. Yeah, that's, that's how I talk, and I focus on making people that I communicate with understand the issue, rather than a bunch of difficult sentences that is hard to follow, or difficult words that is being used that one has to go to dictionary every time to see what it is. So it is not written on the purpose of show off. It's written for the purpose of delivery of the points, and I find it enjoyable. I enjoyed writing, and I hope that you guys will enjoy reading it as much as I did writing it. It took over 2 years to finish these books, and it was a doing. It was a big task, because I did all three of them parallel at the same time, and then I had to separate them in different books on the topics. It was a big task. But then, of course, after it's all done, a year and a half later, then you go, or 2 years later, then you go through designing of the page with the designer, book designers, that they know what to do, the fonts, the paragraphs, all these things, and then editing, reading it right again 100 times, and still there would be mistakes in them. It's a very elaborate and interesting project. It was bigger than I thought it would be, but I'm glad I did, because in life you will get to do things at a certain time in your life with a certain energy and certain zone that you're in. And for the life of me, I don't think I can do this again. If somebody comes to me and says, write 3 books all together, I say, well, I won't. Why? Because I know what's in there. Then I was just going step by step into the jungle, and every step I was hopeful to reach the other side and get out of it. But it took a while, and that's how I went through the jungle. But if I know what dangers are there, I said, forget it. I'm not going. I'm just going to go and, I don't know, take the plane and fly over it. So I hope that you guys will understand what my purpose in this. and will also enjoy owning one, and then go from there. Enhance your lives and your knowledge about your own machine, how this works. Everybody teaches us math and sciences in school, but they never told us how this thing works. This is what actually makes us function and understand, make sense of it all, or understand it doesn't make sense. But yet, there is no way, nobody in any school, while we're growing up, teach us how this thing works. So knowing about the relationship between thoughts and consciousness, fear, desire, and ego, and how they're interrelated, how they affect us, help us to negotiate the day-to-day stuff in life. These are all very important about knowing about this machine. Instead of knowing about every machine that is out there, we know the detail of it, we go study it, but we don't spend time to understand what are our inner powers and what are our psyche, how it works, how it's put together. And I think that's why these books, especially Me, My Psyche, and I, is very useful. That's my opinion, and I hope you will share that as well. Nikki says, how often do you go live on Facebook? Well, for the past year and a month. I think we started in July last year with the kindness of this wonderful company and wonderful people of WittyFeed, who own this Facebook page that I'm now talking to you from. The Amazing Things in the World is called. They were kind enough to facilitate this for us to be able to be in contact for people around the world, and so we can share these opinions, and based on my findings and my research and discussions and so on. So they welcomed it and they facilitated this, and I thank them for their gracious help. And you guys know about WittyFeed, of course. It's I think it's definitely number one or number two of the viral contents in the world, and they are doing just great. Fantastic bunch of people, and I know them for a long time. Wonderful young men and women, dedicated and with such good hearts, and they always are trying to advance. At the same time, they're trying to share the knowledge with other young people around the world. They put lots of seminars and discussion and speeches about their technology, and they're wonderful people. So they have created this possibility for us, and this bee is not going to sting me, are you? Please go out. I thank you very much. There we go. So now, so we are now about one year and 1 month that we've been having every Sunday a live talk. And then 6 months down the road, I started another live talk in my own Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, which you guys probably can go on Facebook if you haven't already liked that page. It's called Mind That Seeks Truth, author and book. There are 2 pages. Both of them are mine, but the author has more likes, 16,000 I believe. So you can go and like it. So every time I put a post for any live talk, it will come there, or any other posts that I put on, positive posts, supportive posts, or videos that I choose, I put it on there. You'll be notified. So it's been 1 year, Saturday and Sundays. Always, it used to be 8:30 in the morning, but I thought a little bit too early, at least for me. So then we changed it to 11:30, and today it was 11:45, which I wonder which is the better time, 11:30 or 11:45 or 12 noon on Saturday and Sunday for you guys. So it's been now, for 1 year that we've been having these live talks, and every time there would be a post that I set up, which link and which page is going to be. But usually Sundays will be here, and Saturdays would be at Mind That Seeks Truth Facebook page. Now,